another one of my Rewind record store visit episodes. Today we're going to be talking about a store that is no longer around, although I think they maybe still have an online presence, but we'll be talking about Other Music in New York City. They closed in June 2016, and I made my final visit there in May of 2016, maybe a little more than a month before they closed. I heard that they were closing and decided to take the trip into New York City and make like one final little pilgrimage to their store. They were downtown, I guess on 4th Street, right by the old Tower Records, 4th and Broadway. Eclectic shop, maybe. A lot of less mainstream, although maybe they stocked that stuff as well. But, just a lot of, I guess, alternative and different indie kind of bands really kind of were highlighted in that place and were customers in that place. There was a great documentary that kind of chronicled their final days called Other Music. It came out in 2020. It's really good. You should check it out. It's out there everywhere. Amazon, iTunes. I don't even know if iTunes is still a thing, but Apple TV, all that stuff. You can find it wherever you look for streaming content. Really good. You should check it out. But the store was not too big, but just packed with a lot of good stuff. The staff there were always awesome and had great suggestions and very helpful, I found. Prices really good. So these are the things that I picked up on that last visit in May of 2016 at Other Music. 1980, we get more specials by the Specials. How's about that? Great band, ska, they sort of broke up after this record. I know there was another release by like the Specials, AKA or whatever, but I guess the band kind of were sort of butting heads over making this album, kind of with the direction that the album or the music was going in. And during the tour or before the tour even started to support this album, the band kind of went their separate ways for the most part. The first thing I picked up by them way back in the day, like through one of those record clubs through the mail, I picked up like a best of or a singles collection, whatever it was called. And then I picked up their first album, and then I grabbed this one at Other Music when I visited. Lots of great tunes on here. My favorite being Enjoy Yourself and Rat Race. Maybe when this came out, there was some kind of people maybe weren't too thrilled with it, but it's grown to be kind of like a classic, so to say. But really good, really love the Specials. 2006, we get Elephant, or Elephant, with the F. That's why I pronounced it Elephant. I wasn't trying to be fancy, just being dumb. And this is the Black Magic Show. A friend of mine who I worked with introduced me to this band. I think I had like a burned copy of this album, and then when I saw it there at Other Music, decided to pick up my own quote-unquote official copy. Good band, like indie rock, I guess, maybe some like synth, or you hesitate to use the phrase new wave because you always think of new wave, you always think of the 80s, early 80s and stuff. Not the 2000s, but they certainly kind of fall somewhat in that sort of category. Good record though, I really like this, and I think they split up after this record. I think they only really had like 2 records that they put out, and this was number 2, so I think they split up after that, and I don't really know why or what the deal was. Some of my favorite tunes on here are Lolita, My Apology, Don't Wait, and my favorite track is It's a Shame. So if you're not familiar with these guys, you should check them out. Oh, they're on Hollywood Records. That was like a division of Disney Records. I got another one coming up that's on Hollywood Records as well, but that's Elephant, or Elephant. 2013, we get Phoenix and their album Bankrupt with the exclamation point. I'm not going to scream it because I don't want to disturb the neighbors. It's a little late right now. I had their previous record, I think it was called Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix. That's when I first discovered the band, and I didn't realize like how many albums they had. Like this, I think, is their 5th record. I always thought it was like their 2nd, but although I had found, like, I guess the album before Wolfgang Amadeus in a FYE that was closing, and I found it in like the dollar bin or whatever, and picked that up. So I kind of always thought that was their first record, and this would have been their 3rd. But when I was just looking up some info, I realized, like, oh no, man, they had quite a few records. They've been around for a while, But really good band. Again, kind of synth, indie rock sort of stuff. I think one of the dudes is married to Sofia Coppola now. Maybe does some music for her films. But a good band. Oh, receipt. We got the receipt here. And this is my receipt from Other Music. And like I said, I was there May 11th, 2016 at 1:38 p.m. And all these I picked up used. Good prices, around $4, $2, $3. I don't remember if, I can't remember. There may have been like a sale going on since they were closing in like a month. I can't remember if there was like a discount, like, everything was like, 30% off or 40% off. I'm not really sure. These might just be the prices that they had there, though. I'm not positive. But anyways, getting back to Phoenix. Really good record. I like this one a lot. So I guess there's one record after this. I think it's called Tiamo, and I haven't picked that up, or I haven't really heard anything from it. Nothing too interesting, just some lyrics and stuff in the booklet. But I'd be interested to check that out, because like I said, I always kind of really dug these guys. Some of the tracks on here I really like were Entertainment and Drakkar Noir. Everybody loved Drakkar Noir in the 80s, right? Right. 2000 brings us the Fishbone record on, like I mentioned earlier, Hollywood Records. And this one is called The Psychotic Friends Networks, but it's got an even longer title, technically. Fishbone and the Family Hood Next Experience presents The Psychotic Friends Networks. Anyways, weird cover there, with just Angelo's head there, with a hand sticking out of it on Norwood's head. It's just a bizarre album cover there. A lot of guest spots on this album. You get Gwen Stefani, HR from Bad Brains, George Clinton, Rick James, and a couple dudes from the Chili Peppers. I always loved Fishbone. I first saw them back in 1985 when their first EP came out on U68. I saw the music video and been a fan ever since. Seen them live a bunch of times. As a matter of fact, I have a ticket stub in the back of this CD. I used to always do that with the ticket stubs, just like pop it open and just, keep the ticket stub with one of the band's CDs. They kind of had their sort of ups and downs. They always felt like they were going to just break out really big, and it just kind of never really happened. I know they had some issues with different record labels. They were on Columbia for a while at the beginning, and then, like I said, they're on Hollywood here, and after this, they were no longer on Hollywood Records, and I don't think Hollywood Records really did much to promote this album, which is a shame, because it's really good. There's a lot of good tracks on here. Some of the tunes that I really dig are Shaky Ground, Suffering, Where'd You Get Those Pants, One Planet People, and It All Kept Starting Over Again. It's a great tune. If you ever get the chance to see these guys live, I've said it before, go see them. 2011 brings us Mikey Lee. I never knew if it was Likey Lee or Likey Lie. But anyways, this is her album, Wounded Rhymes. Great album. Alternative, kind of a little bit of like electronica, I think, in some of her stuff. I remember first seeing one of her videos on this music video show that I've talked about called New York Noise, and really liked it. Picked up a couple other tracks by her. And then that album, Youth Novels, I grabbed, and then grabbed this one, you know, a few years later at Other Music. Some of the tracks on here that I dig are Youth Knows No Pain, Unrequited Love, Get Some is awesome. That's maybe my favorite song by her. Rich Kids Blues, Sadness is a Blessing, I Know Places, Jerome, Silent My Song. I think I just named every damn track on here. It's really good. I've forgotten how much I really like this album, actually. This kind of reminded me, listening to it right before this video, kind of reminded me how much I really like this. And it's kind of funny because a couple of years ago, speaking of record stores going out of business, the record store in Howell, New Jersey, was closing, and I went there because they were having all these crazy sales, like 75% off and stuff like that. And I saw one of her records there that I'd never heard of, called like So Sad, So Sexy. And I picked it up and I listened to it. I really was disappointed with it because it sounded like she was starting to veer into like dance, more dance-oriented kind of music. And I'll have to listen to that one again, but I remember listening to it the one time and just really being disappointed with it. But that's it for my final visit to Other Music. It's sad that it's gone, you know. It's, you know, a bummer when any of the store closes, especially something like that was sort of kind of iconic in New York City. But again, like I said, check out the documentary. I think you'll really dig it. I can't imagine anybody watching this video wouldn't enjoy that documentary. And, you know, let me know what you think of these records, or tell me. I would love to hear about your visits to Other Music or what you remember about the place. And by all means, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you next time.